Hi everyone. In this video actually I want to do a comparison between the university track and embassy track because many people wanted to know which track is better for them. So if they apply via university track, what are the chances of getting accepted, or if you apply via embassy tracks, what will happen and all. So completely watch this video. I will try my best to compare both the tracks. So first let's talk about the embassy track. So as you know, if you're applying via embassy track, you can choose 3 universities. So that is one of the biggest reason many people want to apply via embassy track, because they got to choose 3 universities. So it's really nice thing. So yeah, that is the first thing. So if you're going via embassy track, you can choose 3 universities. And again, when you're going via embassy track, so the embassy will do the interview. So the interview is not going to be that hard, because if you're going via university track, the university is going to evaluate you. So the person or the professors from your particular the department that you're applying gonna evaluate your application and gonna have the interview. And also the interview you can expect to be not hard if you're applying via embassy track. And again, if you're applying via embassy track in countries like India and all, so you don't directly apply to the embassy. If you're applying for the graduate program, so you will apply to the MHRD. So the MHRD will do the initial screening, and here is the thing: MHRD has its own criteria to screen the applicant. So they will only give preference to the students from IIT and NIT, then central universities. And I have heard for other universities, other embassies around the world, they have given a preference to people who has IELTS or TOEFL, something like that. So if you are going via embassy track, so they have their own criteria. They will not be looking into your grades and stuff. They might look into your your physical documents, so that this much of awards, or you have this much of language proficiency, this kind of thing. So they will look into that thing and they finalize the student. So that is one more thing about embassy track. And one more thing is, through embassy track they will recommend 1.5 times of the actual quota. That means if your embassy has 10 quota, through embassy, your country has 10 quota via embassy, but they will actually recommend 15 applicants. So the chance of getting accepted into the program is really high. So once you clear the embassy thing, the chances are really high to get accepted via embassy if you clear the first round, that I'm saying. And one more thing, so that is what embassy track. Then one more thing that I want to mention, now we're going to discuss about the university track. So university track, the evaluation is complete application evaluation. So you got to have a really nice application, a nice profile, a good portfolio, good grades, and all, because the university is gonna completely looking into as a whole package, and they're gonna do the evaluation. But when you go via embassy track, it's just selective kind of things. As I said before, if you go via Indian MHRD, so Indian MHRD will do the initial process, and also they don't look into your grades or anything. They just look, okay, which university you are graduated, and also if you're from an IIT, select. If you're from some other university, not a really well-known university, reject. So that is the thing. So that is one of the major difference between this university and embassy track. Then again, come to the university track. So university track, actually last year they have selected 663 students for 59 universities, so around 60 universities. So every university can recommend up to 20 to 30 students, that too not maximum of 3 students from a country. So if that is the case, just imagine they can recommend up to 3 students from your country, right? That was 60 universities. So that means 60 into 3. So this, technically speaking, NID can actually receive 180 applications from your country through universities. I'm not telling every country will have 180 applications, but I'm just saying, technically saying, if they are recommending 3 students, up to 3 students from your country. So that is one more thing. But once you're applying to the university track, the thing is like, you are not just competing against your country applicants. You are competing against the whole world. I mean, the every country students. So from multiple countries, the students will apply to that particular university. So what is happening? You're literally competing against students across the world. But once your application moved to the NID, so that time you will be competing against your country quota. So that is one thing. And again, if your profile is too strong, very strong, I would highly recommend just go via university track. So you want to study in a university, you can just go. And if you are not from an not from IIT or NIT, but your profile is, you're believing that your profile is good, just go to university track. That's what I did, because I'm not from IIT, I'm not from NIT, but I thought, okay, my profile is good, so I just directly applied to the university and I got admitted. But if you're thinking like your application is not very strong but you want to apply via university track, I think you can make use of this regional quota. So let me explain. So just imagine if your country has 6 uni quota and 4 general and 2 regional, right? So and you applied for a regional uni for science and science or engineering major, that is STEM major, and total number of 10 people are selected for the final round by the for the final round. But just imagine they can only select 6 students, but 6 is the quota, but 10 students are selected for the final round, and your rank is 9 out of these 10 people. But imagine if you are in the top position when compared to the other people who applied for the regional quota, you got a stand to win the scholarship. That means quota is 6 for general, 2 regional. In the regional quota, you are the top students. So even though there are students better than you from general quota, they don't give that spot for them, they will give for this regional student. So that is one thing. And one more thing, that if you are applying a regional university, I would say there are a good number of university actually looking for international students to make the to improve their globalization. So there is no wonder if they marketed their university rather than taking an interview. That means there are universities that are desperately looking for international students. So if your aim is just to get this scholarship, apply to such universities. Definitely you might clear the round 1, they will recommend you to the NIED. So that is one thing. And one more thing that I want to mention is like a good some university may not fulfill the the quota through embassy track. That means even though you got you selected via embassy, then you pass the second round via NIED, but maybe you got rejected via university. So actually there is a empty spot in that country's embassy quota. So in that cases, NIED will select random people from other country to study here. So that also one thing, but this is not available via university track. So these are the basic things. So these are the things that I have analyzed via applying via university and embassy track. And one more thing that I want to mention, if you are applying via university track, there are many people are talking about just contact any professor, and if you get an acceptance from the professor, you'll get the scholarship. That is completely wrong. I would not like, it's not correct, because even though the professor give you an acceptance, it doesn't mean that the university will recommend you, or it doesn't mean that NID will select NID can also reject your application. And whoever can contact the professor, I got questions from many people. I also want to contact the professor. Actually I did not contact the professor, but I don't know why they are thinking like that. I also contact the professor, but they say I also want to contact the professor, what should I do? I asked why you want, then I asked them back, why you want to contact a professor? So they said if the professor accept my application, or if he gave an acceptance letter for me, I'll get the scholarship. And then I asked them few questions back. Okay, why you want to contact a professor? What are you gonna tell to the professor? And why that professor should accept you? They don't have answer for this question. So I would say, if you want to contact a professor, what are you going to tell to the professor? Right? You got to say something to the professor in order to give you an acceptance letter, right? So here is this thing. if you're a science student, or even if you're from a social science student also, if you are interested in that professor's research, or you want to particularly work under any lab which is maintained by that professor, that time you got to contact the professor, because you have to secure a spot in that lab. So when you get this call, once you get the scholarship after your language year, you'll move to that university. That time you should have a space to work in that lab. So in that case only actually people contact the professor in order to get an acceptance from that professor to work under him. So simply going to professor and asking acceptance letters, they don't even reply to your mail. So I would say just think for yourself why you want to contact a professor. So this is the thing. So if you're interested in his research, just send a mail to him, but you should approach the professor with a proper research proposal. Just simply don't go to him. You should be able to answer his questions, and you should be thoroughly following his work on all. Personally, I didn't contact any professor because I just applied to the university. I don't think that I want to contact any professor or not. But I will say after getting the scholarship and you once come back to Korea now, when you're doing your language here, that time also you can contact the professor if you are interested in any of the professor's research and all. So yeah, that is one thing. So basically that is the difference between embassy track and university track. To be honest, I don't know, both track has its own pros and cons, as I said before, but one thing I would say, like if you're applying via India, or not just India, if you're applying via embassy track, just see the criteria of embassy and also, because I heard like in Mexico and all, they want people with topic level 4 and all. So if you're applying without topic level 4, definitely your application will get rejected. But when you're applying to the university, they thoroughly check you as an individual. So the application evaluation is going to be like a really complete application evaluation, not like a selective application evaluation. So that one thing. And finally I want to add you something. Don't actually go mad over this, should I apply via embassy track or university track, rather than utilize this time to improve your application, strengthen your application, add more things to your application, and then you don't need to worry whether you go embassy or university. Scholarship is yours. So that's it for this video. So if you have any doubts, so please comment below this video, and please share my video and subscribe to my channel. I think there is nothing to share, right? Because it's just the people who are interested in GKS will only going to watch this videos and all. So whatever it is, follow me in my Instagram also. Yeah, follow me on my Instagram if you want to have a live section about this scholarship. So see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye.